This quick demonstration will cover how to post a copay or take a copay from the patient, take an account payment from the patient. We will check in the patient, then we'll send charges on the patient, then we'll post the charges and the copay to the account, enabling us to be able to send the claims. We will open up patient statements and generate a statement for the patient because they will have an account balance. And then we will come back and post an insurance payment against the account that we are creating today. So already on my screen, we have the schedule up for today, and we have patient Margaret Smith coming in at noon. So since the patient is presenting, we click one time on the patient, which will open their update appointment screen. And our update appointment screen allows the user to quickly verify the patient's name and information, phone numbers, etc. And at the bottom left side of the screen, who the insurance is and if there's any copay or co-insurance due. And as we come back to the right side of the screen, we notice that the patient does have an account balance of $500, and there's also a section where we can post the visit payment. Now the visit payment is where we'll post our $30 copay. So we will go ahead and do that. We're going to type in $30. We will say that the patient is paying by credit card. We will enter the expiration date. And then once we run that credit card on the credit card machine, we will put in the 5-digit number that comes from the credit card machine. Now, of course, the expiration date and the reference number are elective, but it will help the practice balance if they add that information. And then as we come down lower on the account payment, we'll also negotiate to take a payment against this high $500 balance that the patient has with our practice. So we will put $50. We'll say that $50 is what the patient's going to pay towards that balance today. So I've typed in the 50. I'm also going to use the same credit card for this payment. And the same reference number, because we'll run the patient's credit card one time. Now do note we have a print payment receipt hyperlink down at the bottom left corner of our screen that allows the user to print the patient receipt and hand it to the patient, showing that they have paid on the account today. Since we're demonstrating, I'm just going to go ahead and click Save and Close and not show the view of the patient receipt. So with that closed, we've updated the patient's demographic, we've taken their dollars. Patient's now ready to see our provider. So I open the left list, and where it states not arrived, I click, and then we move down to check-in. Now do know that check-in provides two services in our application. One, it opens the patient's chart inside, or opens the encounter in the patient chart, so it prepares the chart for today's encounter or today's date of service. It also opens a claim in the status of preliminary, telling our checkout person or a billing service or billing person that this patient has checked in and services are going to be rendered. So this is a visual indicator that the patient has physically presented in our office. So I'm going to flick back to the chart mode and open the left list where our patient is checked in, and we click one time on our patient to open their chart. Now notice when I open the chart, on the right side of the screen, we have the encounter and the encounter date of 8/29, which is today's visit. Below, the reason for a visit is a cold. Now, to keep it simple and quick, I'm coming right back to the Diagnosis and Procedure tab on the left side of the screen. I click one time to open this tab, and I've preceded my patient with diagnosis and procedure codes that are for an upper respiratory infection. So with the diagnosis code and procedure codes already added, I click on the diagnosis code and hold. I drag that down to the bottom of the screen, and then I click on my procedures tab to pick the procedure codes my patient will have today. So I click on office visit new. Then I also will come down and pick the spirometry so we can do a breathing assessment on our patient. We will do a nebulizer treatment on our patient, and we will also take a sputum cytology, which is a lab test for our patient. Now I'm going to click Save, which saves our diagnosis and procedure codes all at one time. And as soon as the save is complete, we will come over here to the upper right portion of our screen, and we will click on Send Charges. The sending charges will forward all of the diagnosis and procedure codes over to our claim UI and insert the fees coming in from the fee schedule as well, allowing our checkout person or our billing person to be aware that the patient has checked out or is leaving the back office area and is coming to the checkout position. So I'm now clicking on the accounting button, and remember we had opened our claim search tab for this patient, and notice the status of preliminary. When I click on search, the claim status is updated to in progress. So that means the charges have now arrived for this patient, and we can double click to view them in the claim view. Now also note, back in scheduling, our patient is now marked as checking out. So whenever we click on send charges, our left list in the scheduling system and in the chart system, let me pull that left list back out, says checking out. So there's a visual indicator in the chart side and scheduling side, in addition to the accounting side of the software, that lets everyone know what is going on with the patient. So the send charges updates all those facets in one time. So we double clicked on our claim, we have the claim up on our screen, and we can see here that the total claim amount is $195. We can view the provider and the location on the claim, and as we scroll down we can see that patient balance for $500. Now that dollar amount will not decrease until we post those payments we took today, which means basically commit them to the AR. Here's our insurance payer, $30 copay. Filing type is electronic, so the claim can go electronic. And as we scroll down, we just make sure that our diagnosis and procedure codes are present from the coding that we had performed on the chart side. Now, one of the reasons why these codes are all locked down is so that the chart stays in sync with the claim, so we don't have anyone changing on one side or the other. They automatically feed everything that happens on the diagnosis and procedure tab over to the claim for the outbound transmission. So since everything looks great on our claim, the last thing we're going to do on this screen is down here at the bottom, the claim status, which is currently in progress. We are going to move that to ready to post. And ready to post indicates to the system that we're ready to post that claim to the accounts receivable module so that we can send our claim out electronically. And then we click on Save and Close, which allows the system to commit the claim into the new status of Ready to Post. And I have automatic posting turned on, so it moved to the status of Posted. Now, if I did not have automatic posting turned on in my database, my claim would go to the status of Ready to Post as it did once we clicked the Ready to Post status and clicked Save and Close. From here, our user would go to Daily Update. That is on the left side of the screen, Daily Update. And by opening Daily Update, and we click Search, so when we click Search, it will bring up the one claim for our patient for the day. And at the bottom of the screen, we would review the total charges for our claim, and then we would click on Post Charges. Now before I do this, I want to point out on the Post Copays tab the dollar amounts we took during appointment scheduling. So because the copay, the visit for today, was automatically posted, the copay would appear down here at the bottom, or appears here at the top of the screen. But if the automatic posting was not turned on, then the copay and the account payment would both appear here at the bottom of the screen. And then once we clicked on Post Charges to commit those charges, then the copay would move to the upper portion, leaving the account payment down here at the bottom of the screen, and then allowing us to post the copay towards the office visit or the encounter for the day, and the $50 towards the unapplied, which would be the account payment or the account balance. Both of which, once applied, so let's click Post Copays and post for the account, both of which, once we apply these, will appear in our Post Payments section of the system, because both are recorded against payments against the totals for the day. So copays do count towards the total deposit slip for the day. Now once our copays have been posted for the day, we can move back to our claims where our claim is showing posted, and then the next step we would do is go to claim processing. So recall, running daily updates, posting your claim and posting the copays enables the claim to go out electronically. So by clicking on the claim processing tab and the primary electronic indicator is set for the filing order and we click search, it will present us with our claim for the patient. And we've got a bit of a list here, so if you notice that Margaret Smith is here at the top, along with several other claims that are ready to go out. To keep our claims file simple, I'm just going to check off Margaret Smith, and when we click on process, that is the indicator to queue up the claim to go out electronically. So with that being marked in the process, notice that Margaret Smith's visit is no longer, patient name is no longer showing here in our electronic claims ready to go out the door. Now most of our practices would just mark them all and click process. I'm just choosing to file the one. After that happens, we pop over to the process claims tab, claim number 3 or tab number 3, and when we click search here, we'll notice we have several claims out there pending for Margaret Smith. So we see Margaret ready to be claimed, no insurance for claim number 65. So that means that claim will go out tonight when the claims job kicks off, and then the next business day our users would come into the log viewer and work their reports. And we only have 3 reports: the rejected claims, the accepted at payer, and accepted at clearinghouse, keeping it very simple for our users to be able to work their reports coming in from our clearinghouse. So with the claim being sent out the door, let's pop over to statements and see that we do have a statement ready for Miss Margaret Smith with her account balance on it. And if we wanted to generate that statement, the only thing we would need to do is check off the box in front of her and click print statements, and that will generate a statement for the patient, and it will also ask us to update the last statement date so that we can have an indicator similar to this one showing the last time our patient received a statement. And here's a rendering of that patient statement for Margaret Smith, and we can see below what the fees were and any dollars associated with the patient. Once we close the statement, here's the statement message: update last statement date for printed statements. We click yes, and then Margaret will be tagged tomorrow or the next time she's due for a statement with the last statement that was printed with the patient. Since we just sent her statement, she removes from the list for today. Now, based on the fact that we have sent our patient their statement and the claim is ready to go out the door, we can pretend as if the insurance has processed their claim and is ready to pay on that patient's claim. So the claim number here is number 65, if you can see that next to the dash, and we are going to open payments to post an insurance payment against this patient claim. Now I'm clicking on payments on the left list, which opens a tab, and it has a new payment button inside of it, because that's what it would be, as a new payment. Or at the bottom of the screen, I can click on the new payment icon as well, which is just a faster way to get to the new payment UI. So we will pay, we'll say $40 on the patient claim. The check is coming in from the insurance. We will say it's an Aetna check because Miss Margaret has Aetna. When we click save here at the top left side of the screen, the system will automatically take us into allocation mode, which means we can either search by a patient name, or, since we have the claim number, search for the claim number. So we type in the 65 for the claim number and click search, which brings us Aetna Insurance and the balance due. And then we scroll down to where the claim information is on the screen, and we have our procedure codes and our dollar amounts due from the particular carrier. So the first thing we want to do is set the payer. So I click on the payer drop down, choose Aetna, and for both of them. And our allowed amounts are loaded, so I'm allowed $20 on a 99213, which is good. That'll allow us, we're going to say the payment is $30. Since we gave the balance here a pretty high amount. Let's go ahead and update our allowed amount to be $30. And we'll call the adjustment down 20. And then for the the next CPT code, we have a perfect $10, an adjustment of 0. Okay. Now if we wanted to, instead of adjusting off the $20, maybe the insurance took it towards co-insurance. So let's delete the 20. We come over to co-insurance and we type in the $20, and that will make $20 to patient responsibility once we close this claim. But do notice at the top of the screen, remaining says 0, which means there are no further dollars to post. We come back here down at the bottom and we click on Save, and that saves the payment we've just applied, and then we can click Cancel to go back to our payment search. Now I've entered my ledger date and stated to show me all payments for today, and you'll notice that we have our Aetna payment here for the $40. So now that we have our $40 posted, our day is concluded. We've posted our one insurance check and our one patient claim. Such a busy practice. We can go back to Daily Update, to our Post Payments tab. We click on Search, and then we have our $40 insurance check present, and we click Post Payments, which will commit that $40 payment to the accounts receivable. And closing out, let's move over to the claim search one more time just for a view. When we click Search, it now shows the claim as paid. So the paid status is important for our balances or our claims to always get to. And that concludes this video.